Town, Dorothy Thompson speaking to you today from in front of Neighborhood Housing Office. And on the show we have a look at the restoration underway of an historic home. Local builder Daniel Miller will show us what he's up to in West Madison at Shepard Terrace as he's rehabbing an historic home.
Well, we found Shepard Terrace.
You can chime in anytime you need to because it's confusing. I just would like to show you one of the cool things around this house. At least 2 generations of people here were rock collectors.
Oh.
I imagine the first ones got going on the second ones. I mean, they're all over the place. Every time you go dig up an old bed or anything like that, and they're not just from Wisconsin, they're from all over the country.
You know, that was kind of a thing, like even in Richland Center with our neighbors in the 60s or 50s.
The Auto Cleansing, the one that built my bookstore building,
Okay.
and the footbridge in Richland Center, he was an, what do you call it, apiary? Is that right?
Oh.
Apiary.
Apiary.
Well, anyway,
We'll have to
he
Google
tumbled
that one.
stones.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then threw them out for us kids to dive on.
Yep.
So this is 409 Shepard Terrace, and I've been working on it since the beginning of the pandemic. And the owner has been an absentee owner on and off through that whole time. She was a professor at the UW, now teaches in Richland Center, but still this is her residence because we don't know where anybody's going to land in this economy and so forth. But this neighborhood, as you can see, is nice.
It is.
It's not overblown. It's not University Heights is 1 block behind us, and from there on Franklin, everything is the University Heights going back to the old city. So this was a jump over into the quarry park area. There's a massive quarry over there that was part of the building of I'm not sure if this stone didn't come out of that quarry. It could have very well come out of the quarry in Shorewood, which is right over there, Shorewood Quarry, behind Hilldale. Oh, I should say behind for people who know it, the old Coles Arch.
Yeah.
Basically up the hill from there behind it. There's a quarry that has this same stone. So I'm not sure. I worked on a Frank Lloyd Wright-ish place over there that had stone from that quarry and is very similar to this. So when I first started working on the place, there were remnants of all kinds of different eras of, I imagine that the siding that was on here was either redwood or cedar. And there was a lot of redwood elements, but that was the period. This was built in 1947, right after the war. So, I imagine that the materials were a little hard to get, but so were all of these other ones around us after 47. Why don't we walk around the back and just get an idea of the house. So I imagine that this was originally where the walkway from the street was, because there's the milk pass through here, very typical of
Oh, yeah.
all of those that period. This has aluminum on it since since the 50s, but that whatever that siding was, you could hardly tell. The remnants of it were powder in your hand. You know, nowadays they'd have lasted with the kind of stains we have and so forth. But so you see what I've done mostly back here. This was overgrown shrubberies on the back of the building, the house, and there was no door here. The only door to the back was over there on that end. I did save, I think the painters might have stepped on the awning up there.
Oh.
But this place was covered with those things.
Bill metal awnings.
Yeah, but that was a real period piece.
Yes.
When I imagine when the aluminum was put on. But we've painted it recently. But at one time there was the gas meter, the exhaust for the furnace, the exhaust for the washer and dryer, just about everything utility was coming right out of the back of the house. So wasn't much of a place to hang out.
No.
So it's been on and on. The only thing I didn't manage to get is the power, but they don't bury it as much as like we do in Richland Center. You know, they got to dig up the streets and so. It's a very nice lot. It's
Yeah.
very nice trees.
It's deep and
Well, if you only go one block down, you start to get into more commercial rentals. But just actually 3 houses down, you can see over there, there's a red brick, and then there's a church and so forth. But you have enough buffer right here that, there you can hear it.
yeah.
We are very urban, about as urban as you can get in Madison. That used to be country. You know, that's where Hilldale is. That's where the first, or I should say, all of the old supper clubs, Cuba Club,
Yeah.
Smokies,
Minix Top Hat.
Top Hat, but so this is about the same age as those things that were along Highway 14. This being University Avenue, and Hoyt Park up here is really above Regent Street, old Regent Street.
Yep.
And so that it really at one time was the edge of town. So edge of town, it jumped over the line here. And this house is a Cape Cod, and pretty much everything else is some sort of Cape Cod. I think this stone back here is part of the hill. I mean, it's so you basically as many rocks as they hauled in here. I'm pretty sure this is original stone of this side of the mountain here. Which, if you go over the mountain here, the cemetery up there, Regent Street, and you come down onto Monroe on the other side where you cross Mineral Point. So this is pretty far up the hill. This white cedar here is getting old. They don't get much older than that, but it seems to keep going along. Blue spruce here. I have cleared out a tremendous amount to open this up. And the neighbor's driveway has moved downhill like 5 inches. With that, it seems to be fairly plumb. So I put up that little part of the fence there to give them some privacy as well as us. But the property line is actually right where that wooden part is, not far enough away from their garage for an alley between. So I imagine they moved the fence here to make up for it or something like that. The chimney rocks, bricks that are right here, came off of the chimney. If you look on top of the roof over there, you see a skylight. That's where the chimney was. And it was an oil furnace. It looks like it had, belched a few times, and it had to come out. That was not fun. The part crawling up there and getting a skylight in, all in one fell swoop, where you take out the chimney and you got to get it re-flashed and everything else. Managed to do it over 1 year about that, but so you can see this backyard's had some time and movement in it. The birch is pretty mature.
Here's a part of I
Yeah,
can
there's
just,
a patio here.
yeah, I can
and then-
picture a big family reunion here.
Well, I couldn't figure out whether to use gas or briquettes, so I found 2 of them at the curb.
Okay, well,
One of different, but I wanted the idea. I've been using it quite a bit. And also, I want to point out that these are not decks. For a deck, you got to get sonotubes and go 4 feet under the ground. This is a stoop. It can't, by code, you can't attach it to the building. But all of these bricks you see here, again, was a collection of somebody collected bricks.
yeah.
And I stumbled over. There's probably 50 of them along that fence line over there. So, all over the years, you could see a little swing out here on the grass. That's where the shrubberies were, and so on. If one wanted to, one could put a 12-foot wide, which comes to approximately 6 inches to the side of the kitchen sink window there. And I already got a permit for it, so all of that can be, this could be a full basement, it could be a frost wall, it could be sonotubes and nothing but a deck. But for where it's at, you could go up 3 stories. So I would at least put in a frost wall. By the time you start digging back here, and you first of all you take out the earth and come out here 16 feet. See if I could hook on over here. And then I say I already have a permit for this, but there's really plenty of room back here to go deeper. But there's 16 feet. The thing about just coming 16 feet here and then going 8 feet here, which would be, I got these shoes are just exactly the Da Vinci guy,
Yeah.
foot long. So 8 feet over here and a 45 degree does not block the view of the corner of the lot from the kitchen sink.
Right.
So if you do more than that, in a let's say 4 seasons room, 3 seasons room, or something like that, it also stays to the same size of any of the parts of the house. This is a 24-foot wide by 30-foot long, with everything perfectly packed in there.
Mm-hmm.
But there really isn't any place to put a downstairs bedroom. So 3 season, 4 seasons, insulated addition back here, all screens and windows that you can make into a screen porch. But you could use it for a nursing room if somebody was hurt, or something. The bathroom I put right back in here is hidden. It's one of those potties that are off the kitchen that nobody uses.
Oh,
you go
right.
upstairs or downstairs.
Right, yeah.
But the Ma uses it because she's doing the stuff, and you guys are all getting ready for work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the bathroom that's in here is a drain in the floor. But if you came out here that 16 feet and just extended that bathroom this far so that you could have a door into it, swinging against this wall, you'd have a real wheelchair accessible, what's this, ADA bathroom. So even though I could have made this little bathroom less in order to, I'll show inside, but in order to have a 3-foot wide door and everything you need to get into it, we wouldn't have been able to put anything but a stackable washer dryer in it, and well, that had been about it. There wouldn't have been any counter, and you'll see inside you get much more for your money by putting the door where I did. But I was able to, because I was only doing this 2 days a week, sometimes 3, but really only 2 full days since the beginning of the pandemic. It gives you time to think them through 3 times before you
Right.
go swinging in there. So anyway, let's look around here. This is again another thing. This had a kind of entry with a picture window facing this way. Well, that pretty much tells you that this was built after this, because you wouldn't have put a picture window over there,
Right. Yeah.
if that's what you're looking at. So what they did was they messed around with it. They had you can see the original edition was here, and then they put this sun space on the, or whatever you want to call it, greenhouse on the side of it. It's I love this. I wish we had, but I've bent it back a few times. But you know, if we ever sell the place, or you know, or something like that, somebody will probably just take this right off here and put something else on. But I just thought I'd save it for posterity. There's a stone platform underneath. This was a really torn up concrete in here. The whole floor was pretty well shot, but I was able to pull it all together with thin set and concrete. Same with the garage. It was pretty rough. And here you hang over there. Let me show you something. So this was the color of the. I'm not sure what they were before they faded, or if they were painted and then they faded.
Oh.
But it'd be very tempting to stain them like the deck over there, and put them up, you know, for the flash. But I keep trying to throw them away, and they won't go. But
Is that the original?
this were probably put on in the 70s. The plastic shutter. I mean, you look around the neighborhood, it's probably a trend. See.
Yeah.
Well, what does it hurt? You know, I don't know. See, that's 3 windows across the top over there, and down here there's a Cape Cod, and there's 2 windows over it. It just sold recently. So there are different variations. That one's more like this, and it really appears, because it's the same length and the same depth, and has 3 windows across the top. So it's hard to keep up with the Joneses.
Was that always a bay window, or was that tacked on?
You know, that I'm sure was the same kind of the window as the one across the street. That's pretty standard, but you know, this gets more sun than that does. I think the best way to go inside is just right through the front door. I don't know where that came from, but
Yeah.
something white to go with
Yeah.
white.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right. Look at the floor.
So this floor, just right to start off with, don't worry about it. I just swept up, but I do it twice a day. So this floor was a kind of cottage grade wood. It's all maple. It's all the way through the house. With an eye from somebody who's laid a lot of floor and worked on a lot. The floor probably started on this wall, and they worked from here. The reason I could tell that is the longest board in the pack is right here. I don't think I've ever seen one that long of it, but it's over 12 feet long. So these were packs of 12 foot.
Okay.
And then all these short pieces in. But you see how short most of them are? This probably means this was cottage grade, what was kind of left over from whatever. But that stairway, first thing I did was doctor it up, because it had, was kind of a mess. Turned out better than I thought. I've been working this color into the woodwork, basically just stain rubbing it in. Mm-hmm. And the stairway was also carpeted at one time. I guess when we got here, it wasn't, but they had just painted it up. But it was squeaky, as you could imagine. Now, stand in the doorway here, turn back and swing around. Now, that beam up there did not exist. I put that in to make definite separation. There is a wall upstairs right above that, but even though it could carry, because it's plywood box beam, I just wanted to separate the brown trim area from the white, The crown molding, have someplace to run it without it going into there. And this was not here. So imagine walking into this house. The first time I walked in, I said to myself, actually I said out loud, the reason this was not open was because the kitchen sink was right there, and anybody walking in the front door would see Ma standing at the sink.
Oh.
And that was, and I've seen this before in this kind of house. Well, and the stairway thing here. The house out in Lloyd, I worked on for some walls. Very similar, come in the door kind of thing, and there's the stairway up to a landing and then up. A lot of times this room right above here there was a rail instead of the ceiling in there, and it was open. I don't know what they called that, maybe the sewing room or whatever, but then a lot of them get like this one. It has made it into a room, and so anyway, I'm working on that at the last here because of things that just all the way through were a problem. But now step back over here and actually back up to this window, or the far window there, and now turn and look at this direction. So this was a flat wall, and there were registers above here, which was kind of modern, almost thinking it was air conditioning, but there wasn't probably when it was built. But all of this was enclosed, the stairway, with diamond mesh, if anybody knows what that is, which is terrible to try to mess with. Mm-hmm. On the women's shelter, what house is that? The Lincoln House. Lincoln House. In the Lincoln House, when I was working on the soffits, that was all put in with that diamond mesh and plaster. Terrible stuff. But anyway, I got that all out of there, and I kept to, what are you going to cover that up? I'm not going to cover it up. Come this way now, and I'll just show. So this floor was not here. This was a closed wall. And the only way I could save this whole thing, because you need a door to the basement. This door originally swung open this way. I actually used it upstairs on my stairway to the attic. But this swung in this way. And really from there, you couldn't do anything much but start there and go that direction. And not very nice. As soon as I opened this up, I said, right now we ought to take it and put it on the market because that one thing made so much difference. And then, of course, now we got a kind of a shotgun because there's the back door we looked at from the outside. Mm-hmm. And like I was talking about that addition, there's what's called a wall tie between those switches and outlet there, and that's where the wall would be. Now, if you did it all windows, you could still see through the windows from the kitchen sink. This could be, the door out to that room. It could swing out that way if you just turned it around. But I like to leave things so that if somebody wants to do something in the future far beyond, it's already set up for it. That you don't destroy the scale of things and so on. This is a utility. But all around you can see places where I had to change the ductwork. That one was actually in that wall, but that now feeds the bedroom overhead instead of the one that was too big for that little room. And then this 45-degree angle wall here, that's a return air. The doorbell's here, and anyway, it does it because it's BX metal coated wire. You actually wouldn't even need to close that up there. This right here, again, obviously, I call it the vacuum closet. Mm-hmm. If you especially have something that needs charging, and you have that, and right here you could obviously put shelves and so on. But really, from the beginning, that creates all kinds of possibilities. So it left no stone unturned for storage. These are a 27-inch wide double door, which are usually just for under the sink and so forth. But I was able to get buku see, set up the height of jars and so forth. This kind of thing. This is where the door would have been to the bathroom, laundry room, and so forth. But there would have been no way to have a door to the basement unless you didn't have that opening there to your left. So I packed as much as I could possibly pack into these walls. Again, this is just that matched. So all the canned goods and everything can go on this wall and up here in the laundry room. Plenty of room for all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
Like that, what do you call those things? Those electric fry pans? Things like that. They're deep enough.
Yeah.
But lots of houses don't have anywhere near. Now, if I had put the door there and not been able to put the pocket door in here, this would not have been possible.
Mm-hmm.
There, you would have had to come in that door along that wall, hug it. I don't even know if you'd have got a sink in here. But by having the door here, which I gave into, I was able to do everything, including
Oh, yeah.
this feature here, which is really a feature, but look at it, virtually sits right on top of the trim, and in a standard door, all the way around. But it's all cookbooks. They were leftover cookbooks. I used to see the rest of them.
And I'm sure you use all of them.
The owner has cookbooks, and these come with the place. Every once in a while, she comes in and says, "Oh, there's that one," but probably got one at home. So this right now, you can get in here with a wheelchair if you needed to. If you, like you said, if you had a Three Seasons room there or whatever, all you really would need to do would be to take out the washer and dryer. There's a washer and dryer in the basement.
Oh, okay.
So these are 3/4 size. They're not full size, but I have tried to do everything Frigidaire, and this is a nice set. But what I would do is put two 24-inch sets. Let's see, what is that company that still does them? Not Maytag, but anyway, you could put a bar sink here. Mm-hmm. Don't look at my laundry.
No.
So you can see this is a hand washer. You can see it from the rest of the house. It really doesn't have a cabinet here. It's just to cover the plumbing. Everybody says, "Oh, what's wrong with the plumbing?" Everybody would say, "What's wrong with the plumbing?" And here's the hidden shower. So this is all done. It looks like raw plaster, but what it is Ultraflex thin set. Thin set's what you put down tile with, and it's hard, and really, man, it's hard to get up off a floor. This stuff, I swear, you could make a whole house with it. So the floor drain here, and you did pull back here a little bit. So,
yeah, okay.
So it's well, they usually are just a potty.
Yeah.
But you got the laundry room in here, and
So you've got kind of an RV type of a feel.
My shower at home is in one of those small tubs with a curtain on each side. Mm-hmm. It's all what you get used to. If you need to use it, but I was never figuring this for the main bathroom. This is, like I say, the cook's bathroom.
Yeah.
Get out of my bathroom!
Right.
So every time I see an on sale curtain, I have this upper one too. Now this is the height of one of those window or door curtain height, and I couldn't decide. I may go back to just this height, but this makes it feel like you close off that facility more.
Yep.
But I think this was like $6 on eBay. Sure enough, I go back to get more, and they're gone. I knew I had good taste, but just you can still get through here. The thing about this is, think about things like this has enough room. Whether it's these are standard width, that you can get this out of here without messing with the sink.
Oh.
You leaving enough room, it's worth it. And this is really just hand washing. But if you wanted to have set up a guests situation. You know, you can plug in an electric shaver or whatever. I like the stainless steel top on the two. At home, I would have this completely clear all the time. But one of the things that you might recognize is that in 1947, this was pretty close to when this was invented. This is the real thing, linoleum squares. And linoleum originally was made from linseed.
Is this asbestos?
No, these are the ones
Okay.
without asbestos.
Well, I see old ads.
But this is in every Walmart, in every Menards, probably Lowe's, etc., because it's the toughest. It's super utility, and it does, you know, all of these things. Kinda, this is what was in on the floors of the sunroom. So it probably was pretty close to the thing at the time. So if you want to do that mid-century, what was really big at that time, this was on countertops all over the place because there weren't any countertops. When this kitchen was first built, there was probably one of those freestanding little refrigerators with the
top,
with the motor on the top, and a table. The wall was right here, and actually I only cut off like 6 inches of the hardwood, but the door to the kitchen was right here, and there was a chimney. So you in order to get to the kitchen and go to the basement, you had to come down the stairs from upstairs, go around through the living room, go around through the dining room, and go to the as far as you could get it over there to get into the kitchen. There's Mom at the stove all the way over in that corner.
Yeah.
Run for the basement or whatever. It just seems like just that one opening is just a complete game changer.
So the reason that this was closed off, and this was a wall, it just wasn't proper to walk in and look all the way into the kitchen?
Well, it was well, plumbing was really a hassle to move. So if anybody thought about this, that sink was going to be right over there on that corner. No matter what, that's where it was. And I'm sure it was a wall-hung cast iron sink this long. By the plumbing I saw
With
down
no divider, just one big giant sink.
Well, it was 2 drains and 2 sinks in the middle.
Okay.
And so it took up the whole space. So it would have probably been all the way over to here, and so no countertops in the original kitchen. This was just not a thing then. You had the Hoosier, which was had the glass doors and for the cups, and then you had the bins for the flour and those things. I don't know, but there certainly wasn't any cabinets to speak of in the original. And then the ones that were built in here were built in place and made, handmade. I mean, they were boards on the wall, shelves, etc. I still have parts of them in my temporary kitchen over there. So I squeezed this door in here pretty tight. I mean, there's the trim stuck behind there, etc. But I managed to squeeze it all in. So here's an 18-inch, these are an 18-inch drawer base. This is an 18-inch dishwasher. You can get a lot more in these things now. And now that people have gotten over that they're not going to put their pots in the dishwasher,
right,
you can easily get a setting for 8 people, glasses, etc. in there. The other thing about it is too, if you don't want it, you disconnect it, you get another drawer base, or you get an 18-inch, and it slides right in there, and there you go.
Yep.
I haven't used this sink, I haven't used this cooktop, I haven't used the refrigerator. That's why I have a temporary kitchen over there, is not to, wreck them before they go in. This is the only refrigerator that is not a professional. That one's a professional, the refrigerator's a professional. But the gallery one is even weirder. This is massive, but it was very trendy about 5 years ago, so I didn't pay a fortune for it, but it's pretty cool. But here's the thing. What you get is you stand up this high, or you don't get the drawers.
Yep.
You know, you got, code only lets you, you know, have so much depth and so. Now you can cut the drawers down, and you know, but you gotta keep it away from the wood. And I don't think there's anything really to that. But you know, they don't want you setting your metal right on top of the drawer. This microwave here was went around and round on a choice of that. I could have put it here, and you still could put it here. If you got little kids, you take the door off, you put 2 slats here, and it slides right in. There's an outlet. If that's an issue. But this is still pretty low. It's not like these over the cooktop ones that are right there above the fire.
Yeah.
and so forth. And I checked this out with shorter persons, and you know, somebody who's 5 foot tall and so forth. This is no problem. I like this out of the way. It's still got all of the workspace and so forth. This is set up over here with outlet to put in one of these. This is my temporary kitchen. And I put it in originally for the owner, who was going to be teaching 3 days a week at the UW, and then they closed the university, so it ends up being something I use. But here's an induction burner. Remember when Randy Ewing opened up his, what was it, where Christie's is?
Oh yeah, it was a cafe.
Yeah, well anyway.
Empire Cafe.
The Empire Cafe. In the old Empire Drug, yeah. So he did his entire commercial cooking on these.
Oh.
And I've gotten so used to it. I want an induction 4 or 5 burner induction myself. I mean, the thing about it is I can go like that and whoops. And go to boil here, so just there, and what did I do wrong here? Sure, I learned it. Anyway, the time for boiling water in a standard pan like this, you can barely run to the bathroom and get back, and it's boiling like crazy.
Oh.
So I think there's a lot of things to them. So, just like I say, this is not part of the future. We're in the dining room, but here I'm able to move my temporary kitchen around. Down in the basement, these are extra long, and right now I've got it just running down the drain in the floor. But at one time when I first started, the old piping over where the old sink was, I was able to run it right into there. But this took me about 1 trip to Restore to come up with what I needed. This is actually IKEA. Usually I just get an old, countertop with a sink in it, and then put something, whatever it takes. So these are just those 18-inch by 30-inch cargo carts. I love having that on the refrigerator. I mean, living with these part-time for the years I have been using it, I now want to design houses with the cabinets high enough to put these underneath.
Yeah.
Build an apron for it, because you pull them out because those big wheels allows you to move the whole thing. So this is all temporary, and one of the reasons I wanted to do the video at this point was because this has got to come out of here. I can get at the floor to finish it, but I don't want to, then have this over the floor that's fixed up. So anyway,
So someday this might have a dining room table in it. or
this
what-
will have a dining room table sitting right there. That's got 5 leaves on it. But I'll probably change it around too once I get the open space and can see it again.
Yeah, yep.
But this has not hampered me at all. I mean, this is, you get up here in the morning, this is like camping.
It is, yeah.
This is the oven from the old food co-op in Richland Center. And for a while, it was the Kelly's Coffee. I loaned it to them for a while.
wow, okay.
Then I thought, well, I'll bring it down here. But for a while, I had the 220 that you need for this. But now I've got it hooked up to that oven, so I have used that oven.
You could have a cooking show here because the camera, this would be a perfect place for it. Nothing blocks it. That's all I care about.
It's a more, I know, it's a more of a sculpting from this position, you know.
This is very nice,
You got your bottle of wine and your
Yeah.
you know, Etz, you know, whatever, charcuterie or whatever. But right here, I mean, this is a handy damn thing for if you're eating by yourself. Take 2 pieces of leftover pizza, put them faced together, and you put it in there, and you got
It's a gourmet.
something else.
Wait, I need to ask you about this exhaust. Was that a big deal to do? It just,
This was planned all the way through. I've had a little drying out and so forth. This is winter, but I have a little touching up to do on this ceiling and everything. But this back piece here is a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. This is a 3/4 inch piece. This one goes right up the side of the joist.
Okay.
So it's all by itself is strong enough to do this. But you run one angle this way and the other to the other side of the opening, and you could get up here and sit on this. Have no problem. This is well strong enough, and of course the 6-inch exhaust goes up.
Light,
to
you
the,
had all your lights and everything? And
oh yeah, it's the usual stuff, you know.
really, I've never seen a free standing or hanging one before.
But
I don't get around.
here's the thing: if somebody has it if this irritates them, this door right there, that door, you take 3 of those and they go perfectly onto that. But it looks,
I would leave it.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's like I want a real cabinet if I'm gonna have a cabinet door. Except for places like this, you know, where you see it from everywhere. And so, but anyway, I was pulling this out for a reason. So yeah, once I get rid of this thing, roll this out of here, and let me just show you one other thing while I'm standing here. So these are exactly the same as the one into the basement. Nice to repeat. It doesn't really, you could make this seal, you know, with a little bit of foam. But the best thing about it is it's a great place for pets, etc. It's concrete floor. It could be tiled. It could do anything to it. But this also, even though it does it a little bit more privacy, etc. And you see how I've got them so they're sealed real well across the bottom. They can be adjusted just with a screwdriver overhead. And then you look in here, I think this was added in the 50s.
Very 50s. I like glass. I mean, these never go out of style, right?
I mean, there's things that I saved that are just like, no.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool.
Also, it's too bright right now, but right now I have LEDs. You come over here just far enough to see them. You have to turn around.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, you take a tape of that and put it outside the windows. Put it on the same switch, and then you got, you know, indirect lighting and so forth. This actually has a duct running up it, and it goes into the kitchen over there, but it also is able to open it. It's a full size, so I split it between the two if you need heat out here. But believe me, in the summertime, you don't need
It's
heat.
warm right here. It's very nice.
And these windows are pretty these guys, they open out, so even if you have a screen in on the inside, bugs and stuff get up underneath them. So personally, I would either do something bigger on the outside, which then you can't drive through in here. I really think it'd just be caulked shut and left that the way they are. Cranking them out really doesn't do much. This garage, of course, is typically, unless you have a Mini Cooper, or a Volkswagen.
Well, your car would fit.
Yeah, but can you get out of the car and have a lawnmower?
Right, yeah.
But this has a lot of reused materials from whatever they tore down and so forth. I haven't decided whether to put a board across here with hooks, for coats. A shelf down here for charging, batteries for your tools, your garden tools.
Yeah.
I see this as the garden center. I personally would paint this floor a dark green or something like that, and then those chrome shelves. That all restaurants have. I have them.
Yeah.
We were putting.
Were they slotted? Or they?
No, the ones we put the AV department on a couple weeks ago. 2 of those fits perfect right there. You can cut them down, and then if I really want to sexy it up, you have those chrome on wheels, and you can start your plants here.
Oh,
See this one right here. See how that was an experiment to shade some of these windows up here. I was trying to get a kind of a grassy look to it.
Yeah.
But that one that one's not. It's not a full seal in that window, in that thermal pane. But yeah, this gets pretty. You almost need to put like a shade here or something. So
okay, my directions are mixed up. Okay, the sun is over here.
You're looking straight south.
South. Okay.
That's straight south.
All right. It is a nice sunny room.
Well, it's a feature. It's a feature. But here's another feature. So once all of this junk is out of here, and the dining room is in here, it's a 9-foot, which is good. 9 foot wide is good for it. But there's enough room to put a king's, what do you call those chairs? Captains and mates chairs?
Yeah.
That's it. You could put, up to your table over there to face out at the birds and the garden and so forth, and still have plenty of room. If you had a table that you could pull out, you could easily, this one only comes out about half that, and still not disturb that space by the windows. That's all very intentional. This looks like worthless, but actually all of the, like the gas turn off, the power, there's already a power in here for an induction cooktop.
Okay.
So everything's already, and you could easily put shelves in here out of 2x material for cans, etc. Over here on this side, that shelf around on that corner, as you can see, it's big enough to crawl in.
Right.
So there's lots you could do with it. You could put a Lazy Susan and shelves on the side. My take on this, if it was trying to sell the place, would be to put hooks on the top. I've got braced 2x4s in there.
Right.
Put some hooks there and hang up pots, reach in, and then you don't mess the whole thing up. But whatever, it's a huge space. And I also have an outlet here for plugging in and charging computers and so on and so forth. So that leaves lots of options. I really like this refrigerator. I'm not crazy about the French door refrigerators. I call them three-handed refrigerators. So that's why you have a refrigerator in the basement for the extras. But nice freezer. It's only 24 inches deep, so you don't lose half of your stuff in the back of the refrigerator.
What brand is this?
And
Like,
this is Frigidaire,
yeah.
and this is a professional. So yeah, they're a little pricey, but you can go.
Yes.
You can go as high as you want with them. Get the gallery from Frigidaire, like that cooktop. You can go a lot more than this. I mean, they're getting up there where people are paying $5,000 for a refrigerator. This one retails for a couple of thousand, but that's just the way it is. And then you got the usual stuff. Alerts and all that kind of stuff. It's taken me a while to get used to them. I hear this in the middle of the night.
And the door was open, or what?
Yeah, no, it was that I had disconnected the water down in the basement to the ice maker. The ice maker's asking for water.
Yeah,
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
You need ice at 3 in the morning.
So typical large spaces. I've tried wheels on this floor. Had to have some leveling done. I gotta tell you one thing, Ben. This color, I gotta show you what this color is. This color is that. I went to Bailey's Paint and Decorating, and I had them take this and put it on the computer.
Yeah.
And the paint is so perfect that you can't tell. Once you get it down here, you realize it's exactly the same color. So these plates are actually painted with this color. So there's nothing more utility than the beige or whatever they call these covers. Neutral.
What color is that?
Well, I mean, I get to name it. I've said this. The best thing I've come out with is guacamole.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But it's this color. You'd never look at this and go like, that's that color, but then go like, yep, that's that color.
Yeah.
So these are painted countertops. I've done them at home. Almost all bars in Wisconsin are just painted countertops. The paint is so much better that latex. They make latex roof and floor paint. That's what's on this floor here. And I just did this because I wanted to be able to hold tiles up to it and see what looks good. And I've come to the conclusion that linoleum there. I did have a real estate agent come through, and she was a little confused with everything. Why this isn't quartz or granite or whatever. And I said, do you ever have your wine glass tip over on a granite top and it breaks and it's all shatters? And I know basically this is wood. And people think that countertops are made of something. Well, you do. Do you know anybody that's ever cut on their granite countertops? I mean, the point is that they make great surfaces, dull your knife, and quartz, which is really just ground up stone and in a plastic coating or whatever.
Yeah.
All of these things weigh so much that Restore will not handle them. When they take the cabinets out, somebody else has to come and bust up the counters.
Right.
But this, you could give it a different color of paint every year of your life, and it's no more trouble than to take a masking tape and go around the edges here and whatever. And also this, if you wanted to, I have done them with maple edge corner coverings here, but actually after 18 years, ours are ice cream color, like the living room. And then we put a coating of the same poly, water-based poly that's on the floor, and put that on over the countertop right here. It's almost exactly the same. Here's the work spot, and nobody ever cut there, but just setting things down here. Rub that clear poly off in that one spot, nowhere else in the whole thing. But really, to touch this up, these paints are so good. All you have to do is take a sander sponge, go around, rough it up a little bit. I'm always doing this. This is put together with one seam here, and the reason I put the seam here, it's right under the edge of the cooktop, And so this could be separate if you wanted to take this out and you wanted to use it as a pattern or whatever. There is one seam here. So this is 8 feet. And then I had to put a seam here, but you can't see it. It's so hidden. But because it's 2 layers of 5/8 plywood, if you wanted to recess a piece of marble or a piece of granite or even a piece of stainless steel here, you can cut 5/8 inch deep here, and you've got the underlayer to set it in on.
Okay.
So yeah, and I went to great trouble to make this the same pattern, and I like utility. I like this, but you can do this any color you want to do. You could do this floor any color you wanted to, or put the tiles down. But right now, it's totally livable, just the way it is.
Nobody will ever come in here and say, "Well, where's the nearest outlet?"
Yeah. Well, but I think well, that's not the only place where I got what is it? What's the term? Classicist. Everything balanced.
Oh, okay.
You know, here's a good example of it over here. That return air was off center.
Oh.
And I moved it and put a wider one because it was only this wide, and I made it cover there are 2 openings there, and then the outlets aren't exactly, but those were already there. But here's the thing, the best way to really lay this out, and I have moved every piece of furniture. We had many more pieces. This is I got them all out of my way. But if I was rearranging this in here, I would put a bookshelf here and a chair, light like any one of these. I would put the couch here, maybe with a lower back than that one. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I would put that here. And then again, you go back to another lounge chair here, and so on. The reason for part of that, and of course you could do the same thing here. It's tempting to put a 36-inch wide cabinet doors or something like that here, but then you aren't able to see my art. Because, once I got these revealed and I painted them, everybody goes, oh, I see now,
Yeah.
But here's a feature. So this is a machine. In order to get the squeak out of the floor, see, they covered these up and you can't get at them. You can tune it. Right now this has so few squeaks in it, and that was just from painting this. I haven't even caulked it.
Oh.
And so really you can tune this thing, but isn't it nice how they recess the treads and the risers in, and then they used a shim. I just think it's great carpentry. It's nice to look at, and you know where you're at up there. You know where somebody's sneaking down the steps.
Well, you can't really sneak in at night now.
You leave one squeaky.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is you see the door upstairs. When you see the doors I put in upstairs, exterior doors, that door was no doubt where all the exterior doors were. You could put one on the front to match it, if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that high rounded one that's in there. It's not sexy, but only a very tall person can peer into your living room with that one. And if you have this 6-window one, somebody my height is looking right in.
Why is this the only rounded arch?
Isn't that funny? At that time, they just did that, but there was no place to copy it. See, I was very tempted. To do it here.
And why didn't you?
Well, because this is actually framed sheetrock and everything for a 36-inch door right here to swing back this way. If you want to get any more sound from upstairs or downstairs or basement or whatever, you could put a door like any of these right here. You could put a wall right here and put a French door in it and copy it there. But everybody says no, so I listen sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't want to see the basement right now, but you can see what I'm working on up here. I really love that that's the color of that.
I know you do.
So, yeah, I was cleaning this morning when I went outside because I was saying, what the hell am I doing in here? So, you can see, here's master bedroom here. Nice size.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the repeat of that that old wooden door at the base going down to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly the same, but this had that door here, and it was eaten alive by all the sun. It was totally wrecked. So the first thing I did was put in a fiberglass. That's a fiberglass door.
So what was the purpose of? Did they think that people were going to get out of bed and go out there and have coffee?
It looks cool.
Okay, so that's about the garage.
But yeah, so if you were, rather than anything else I would do here, is I would put a deck above that garage. You don't even need a permit per se. You need an inspection afterwards because the foundation is already there.
Yeah.
You just go out there, cover it, bring it up to this floor level.
Okay.
So you could walk out there and maybe put a little trellisy thing or two to get some privacy.
Yeah, right.
But who's going to go up here and sit out there? I don't know.
I don't know.
But just stay it right there and pan the room and I'll show you. So this wall here, see, I wore my carpenter pants today.
That's good.
So this wall here had a 30-inch door, this size right here. That's the 30-inch. You could put any bifold or whatever you wanted in these. Me, I like curtains, but that's anybody's choice. They're exactly the right size, for a bifold. But bifold, when you're open, you can also take a bifold and make two doors out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just take the hinge. But this was one door, and this was this thick a wall, and this wall was thicker too. So by the time you open this door up, and you got this many hangers, you were full. Everything was back in there or back in there. I just don't think they knew how to make closets then.
And people had fewer clothes, I think, too.
No, I think they had fewer clothes because they had less closets.
Is that how
It's
it worked? Chicken and egg thing.
So you see, this right here is a 30-inch perfectly. I used up every bit of space. There's shelves in there. The shelves haven't been put in. And then because I was working on this wall, there is, if you want to, if it's people who have no kids,
Yeah.
then this could be an office space. This could be a lot of things. And still, you see the bunk up there? Mm-hmm. And you could still have a bunk in there and a bed over in that corner and still have an office space. But if you had a child in a cradle, whatever you call it, bed, you could open this door, you can take out the shelf, take out this is all just, you don't even have to take anything out but those two and you're there. But you can see that, people are concerned that, this makes it more like it's one room. No, it doesn't. Now it's two rooms.
Yeah.
And also, people would probably forget it, that it's two rooms, but that's an option. I thought, while I'm at it, I'm going to put that in. This wall right here, because it was so heavy, had pushed down. I jacked it back up, and I put, I don't even know what you call it, bracing, and got it all back to where it's supposed to be. There you go. You can see I added strength to that joist. So I wasn't afraid to have that door there. But that wall at the back of the closet over there is made from 3/4 inch plywood, and it's screwed like crazy. So So it's part of the truss. So anyway, this is a linen closet.
Yep.
And I just ran this duct over here and had to squeeze it in there. This duct here comes up right here. So originally there was a heat vent right here, and again wrecked what you could do to this wall. So I've used as much space as totally possible. But here's one more feature. Look at that space over there.
Yep.
You can fit exactly this closet right here, right to the exact same place on the window. Right here. And it literally exactly, if you see over there, you just have to cut that off. Right there.
Oh, yeah, I
And
see
that
that.
same
Yep.
exact 230-inch or whatever you want. And that would leave this much for a highboy, for a dresser here, for whatever. But so in doing this, I mean, I'm thinking ahead like that. I mean, every time, you know, it's like my brother or my sister or whatever, you don't need that. I'm like, I think we do. I mean, if we're living here, I think we need all the closets we can get.
These are 7 something high.
Yeah, that's
Because obviously.
7.8, 7.9, something like
Okay.
that. And but you can see this does by having that closet right here, it still gives you plenty of room.
Yeah.
And then you have that entire wall over there for dressers. What do you call it?
Bureaus.
What do you call it? Just
Yep.
that fits. It's not crowded. So there's plenty of room. As long as this door can swing open here, you can start at the beginning of that swing and put as much as you want to right in here. And I don't know. These days it's a big screen TV.
Well, that's true. Yep.
Have an outlet for it.
You've got it all over the place.
Let me drag this thing in here and get it out of the way. I swear to God, I've carried this from the basement up here 300 times. So, originally, this space over here was one big hallway. Not gigantic, but hall. This door was not here. And there was a walk-in closet coming from that other bedroom coming into this space. There was a chimney over there. And it was the worst walk-in closet I think I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad ones. It was worse than that closet over there in terms of getting in and out. So there was a 2-foot door right there. A closet a chimney right there. And so going in, you had to go like this. You couldn't put hooks on this wall or you get one in the eye.
Oh.
And so basically you only have that wall from the chimney, which was about here. So what I ended up doing is putting in a better accessible closet with the back wall of it is plywood. And I was able to squeeze the code width for this entry, for these steps, and these are 2 code. They're not as wide as the ones coming up. The ones coming up are 11, and these are 10 treads. And that one over there is 7 1/4, and this is 7 3/4 rise, which is just gets in code.
Yep.
I mean, I'll show you how close it is over here. I'm going to pull this back just a little bit here, just so I can show you. Just step over there and look in. So I was able to draw the steps on the wall back there and get it exactly to the point I needed so that this is the actual tread. This is a plywood wall carrying, which is the riser, that carries that tread, and that's another riser there, and so forth. I also framed it while I was at it to make this into a landing
Yep.
and then go that way. And I actually had it in place, so there would be 2 steps right here. That would be the riser. There would be, and so there's different. I like leaving options. So if you were finishing off the attic, you could go up to this landing and go both ways. Have a bedroom over there and a bathroom over and study over here, and not interfere with each other. It's incremental, you know, tiny. Look, I had to take about an eighth of an inch. I gotta cock that in there. You can see about eighth of an inch. People come, why don't you do that? I go like, because that took a lot of engineering. So there are metal L plates, ironically taken from the ribs or, you know, bed frame. Those things are hard to cut, but that's what's holding up this platform. And these are 2x. Right here under the steps, you could put cabinet doors or whatever you would wanted here, and have a closet here if you wanted.
Sure.
You've got that storage already over there.
I guess I would put a linen closet here if I had.
There's so many options still for everything, and I got a lot of ducts out of the way. Well, I like this room. Out of the rooms that I had choice to sleep in while I was here, this one I liked the best. Some of it's the sun that comes in, some of it's everything. But when I open this window at night and I can hear the city, I can hear the train go by, the chopper landing on the roof of the UW hospital. I can actually see the lights of the top of the VA out the window. So you really have an urban feeling with, and then just up the hill there is Hoyt Park.
Yeah.
Heather and I have walked up there a whole bunch, and but I like this. I like the scale of this room. So there you go. That's that wall we were just looking at with the, up against the stairway over there.
Right.
So I just stripped that whole wall and put 3/4 inch plywood on it. Partially for strength, partially just to be able to draw the whole thing, and got a full closet. Other part of it is too, I hate it when you see 24 inches, and you obviously that, you know, it's just sheetrock or whatever. So this is a not very thick wall, and the closet goes 5 inches deeper than this wall back here. So just that little bit of recess gives you that much more space for everything here. I tried to leave the nightstand over there where those closets, if you want to put bifolds in here, you would be able to put 30 inch, or here you put two 24 inch bifolds, and it's totally doable. Again, personally, I've adjusted so many bifolds that people have yanked on over the years, and you know, it's. But my favorite bifolds are the mirrored ones because they're so strong. You know, they got that weight to them. Whereas you could use this motif. See this double panel here with the, you know, the two panels up here, but they're in stock, you know, at lumber yards that go with this look here. So right here is a header for a door, a 36-inch door or a 32-inch door. That one over there in the master bedroom out on the landing is a 32-inch. This is a 32-inch, and this would take a 32-inch door. So if you built that Three Seasons room and you wanted to put a deck on top of it, you'd have an opening here. You could put a stairway down the side towards where we walked around the building the first time. You could have an au pair's apartment here. That's all you can do, an au pair's room.
What is that?
It's you used to be that you would have somebody come in to, you know, do the dishes and do the cleaning and stuff and things like that, yet have a day job or school or whatever. Oh. But I did an au pair's room over on Hoyt Street that it's you can do it and you can get away with renting it. You know, in the market here especially, there was a thing where you could put one above your garage, but it costs, by the time you got done with the taxes and everything, wasn't worth it. Now I want to show you some some things. So, in order to bring this top step up to the same height as the others,
Yeah.
you need to add a 3/4 inch piece of plywood to the whole thing, and then your hardwood floor on top of that, and you get your exacting. This floor underneath this, I don't know why they glued down this carpet up here, but there is hardwood floor under here, but it was used for attics a lot. So it's leftover crappy oak flooring that was used for the attic floor originally, and I've seen it in many attics. Now this is not legally finishable the way it is. The reason for it is you have to have 7 feet of ceiling
Oh.
over 50% of the space of the room. So if you took this much right here and popped it up to 7 feet, 7 feet is right at the tip of this peak. By the time you got done doing dormers and so forth, you're really better off to just push the whole roof up at this wall level on both sides, stud walls, put a roof over the whole thing, and you could have a master bedroom up here with a full bathroom here. All the plumbing is in this wall. There's a wall right here as we came up the steps. I mean, it's all there. It's just that the height for legal code. Now they had this finished off with sheetrock when we looked at the place, and they didn't tell us that they had put in sheetrock up here illegally.
Well, why wouldn't they tell you that?
To cover up that this place had had a fire. So they were at the closing and they go, "You should know there was a fire. We didn't have to put that on the report, but we're being gentlemen." Yeah, I waited until now. So,
Right.
But so we went to.
So that's open right there, isn't it?
Yeah, this is just in the summertime. I just I put up. I have shower curtains, clear ones, and I just staple them back up. You know why? Because every kind of vent that I've ever had here, the birds have gotten through it.
Oh, right.
Every single grackle in the place. Hey, they got a big one over here. You can
Yeah.
get in. So yeah. If nothing else, it's one hell of a closet.
There's the hospital.
Yep. So, like I said, that place that's just out, you can see the sticking up the white top of that house.
Yep.
That's a Cape Cod. It's a little shorter than this, but they barely have an attic. Since this had a pull-down stairway, as you can see, this lane right there, that used to go down like this, and it either looked like the bracing was going to take your finger off, or that you're carrying stuff up there and it's going to cave in underneath you.
Were those real taut springs?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's like a garage door opener, and you're right between them.
I know.
Yeah, but that used to come right up here. So I saved it thinking maybe I'd use it on a ladder for the loft in the baby bedroom or something like that. This piece right here, this thick one, that came out of boardroom tables from, what is that, university, I can't think of it, anyway, swap. That I made the countertops for my bookstore over there on Court Street from. So you never know where material is going to go. So here's where you can see that oak flooring. And here it looks real nice, but it had no subfloor.
Oh.
It had nothing underneath it. It was just used to put in the attic, and I suppose it breathed too. So I put this skylight in to get a little more headroom. Really didn't need it, but I had a hole in the roof where the chimney was, and you can see over here that at some time the oil furnace belched, and I don't think there was anything ever on fire here, but you could see all that. So it's nice that I got that chimney out of this spot right here, and it became a stairway landing. I'll show you one more thing here. This shows you, this is sheetrock that's 16 inches wide. And this is the first kind of sheetrock there was. It came
National Gypsum Company.
it came in 12 foot, so you could do a whole room with one run. But they always put plaster over the whole thing too. So it was like it really wasn't like the modern sheetrock. It was for putting plaster. And look down here at the bottom, even got lath and plaster. So you can tell the different ages and what period of the carpenters were. Give me some lath. We ran out of sheetrock, whatever. It's just kind of cool to have them. And every one of these good studs that I've saved, I have been able to reuse. Maybe one out of the whole, but I've taken a lot of studs out of this house. So this is set up so that you could have a walkout here, and this is a exterior grade door where you could have it, lockable and have a way to get up here. It's just a possibility that makes sense in the Madison market with the housing shortage and so forth.
This house was built what year?
1947.
Built in 47.
Built in 47.
So the shortages were pretty much over with?
No, a lot of the things you see here, like I say, this is cottage grade flooring, which I kind of like. But the last place that they put the flooring down was in here. And you can really tell because there's skinny boards, there's too many short pieces. Look at this. And right where you're standing, it was down to the last. And so this subfloor you see here, what you see in most old houses, is made from the boards that they use to make the basement foundation boards. And so this is very typical. So after they used them to form the basement, they cleaned as much up as they could, and then they put it down as these angle boards, and then they put down usually a paper or a tar paper over it, and they put the flooring right over the top. And that different boards like that takes out the bumps. It sounds weird. So what I did was I took out 3 joist spaces here. You can see it's tricky. And I put strengtheners on all the joists. And actually I have these are too close together, but I will get them about the same as this when I put down. But one of the things I'm doing is I'm taking out the rest of the hardwood floor over here. So it's kind of a mess. This is so bad back here. They're all short pieces in here. And trying to feather in another floor, you notice how this dresser just fits here so perfectly? It's actually hung in there. It's actually going to go up until this level meets here. And I'm going to do a slide pole here so that a kid getting up can put a foot on the top of this and then have another foothold over here. Basically, so you can get up and down, and at the same time have a dresser here.
So this was a closet?
This is it. This is all. This is.
This
was closed. This was completely closed up here, and there was a cabinet door on it.
A lot of closets had windows.
And this had a cabinet door. So step back a little bit there, and so this was completely enclosed, and we were suspicious that they did it and closed it. Because like I said, this could have been a banister here at one time.
Yeah.
And just like a sewing space or something. They did that in a lot of houses. But I immediately said that, well, that's got to open up. Here's you can't see it, but you could stand in the door and you could see it. You could see out there when this isn't up here. That was sitting here. You could stand there and you could see out that window.
Oh, sure.
And it just makes the whole place look bigger. That's why I like pushing the closets in here. I'm going to move this. I decided it better to have this one up here and then a lower, especially if this is kids' room, bring one down and bring one up so that you have a shelf up here and a shelf above the, short. It's just what it is. I think this closet maybe with a curtain over it, and then you got the dresser out of the way here. This bed fits perfectly here. Now I closed off this vent, it's dead, and I put one up there. That's what I showed you, the pipes in the
Yep.
master bedroom. And so here, one thing, if you did have the skinnier bed, these are full width. If you had the skinnier kids' beds, you could put one where you're standing and one here, and still have plenty of room to walk between them.
That's how I grew up. With
Yeah, well, I saw a cot, but this is a full-size bed. You can either put it there, it works perfectly fine right where you are, or you can put it over here. If you took the frames kind of, sticking out in the corners, I personally would just make a box of 2x6s or something, and put it down, and then not quite so high, not the iron things to bang your toes on.
Yeah.
But closing off this heat vent here also creates a space that if you want to do that bathroom up in the attic,
Yep.
this can become the heat vent to go to the attic.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I'm always tempted to like open it up downstairs for air conditioning or whatever. I may still do it down by the stairs. That's a great place for, coming in the door, blowing it towards the front door. So there you go. There's the, I actually had a little chest that fits right here and some little bookcase. If you really want to make it go away,
Yeah.
But this floor was just enough here. You see, the real estate agent came in here with me. She felt this because this is the bearing wall right down below where I put a header in there for that first thing we did to get it, And it's so solid here that anything here feels
Right.
Yes, but when I'm done, it is already up to perfectly level. It's just that somehow that's the highest spot in this whole freaking wall, and you feel it. You feel the hardness of it there. And so she went like, "We're going to do something about that." Well, I've done something about it. And so the rest of this hardwood's coming out of here, and I have a place for it, and that is that landing going up the attic over there, and the landing at the top of the attic or whatever. If you need hardwood floor to fix different spaces, I took the flooring out of this closet where that's part of the hallway there. I took that, and you can see some of it here. I took that out of this closet here to do that landing at the top of the basement steps. And first, now I'm going like, I wish I'd taken that first, but actually I look at it now and I'm going like, that's what it would have looked like at the top of the basement. So it's been a lot of that kind of stuff. I'll probably throw some plywood on this wall and insulate the rest of it. But like I say, this is set up for a door. If you want to put a door, if you got something to step out on. This is the old kitchen sink window.
Okay.
From right below, straight, it just moved up. And I just put that in before fall this year because I had the painters there and they're going like, "You're going to put a window in there? I'll have it in 3 hours." And there you go. When you have the bed over there in that kid's room and you put your back against that wall over there, you see this tree over there, that pointy tree.
Yep.
It's weird. You're sitting there and you go like, cool.
Yeah.
It's a neat view.
That's a tall tree.
But you've got the opening between the other trees, and anyway, I like to do that. It's kind of like an artist doing this kind of thing, but I feel like I got everything the best they could get squeezed in, and like I said, this is that door to the basement. Still has the old doorknob on it.
Oh, yeah.
I saved it. There were other doors I didn't save. They did a lot of smoking in this house, but who didn't back in 1947? So we had the ducts cleaned, and there was also a lot of dogs. By the time the ducts were cleaned of all the dog hair and dust and everything, and this, of course, it changed the atmosphere completely. I mean, God knows how many different things they sucked up from return cold air vents and so forth. And here's the bathroom from 1983. So this was put in, and you just know this tile is an 83,
Yes.
But a decade ago, they were just dying to tear this out. Now people are going like, Oh, it's not so bad.
No, no.
It's grown on me, but I mean, you could freshen up the grout with a, you know, all you have to do is take white paint and rub it in, and you know, it's just time consuming. But it's a nice Kohler tub.
It's
Everything's
a
good.
full
solid.
bath.
It is a full bath, and then you know, I had a tan top here I got for little or nothing, and along with the cabinet, but I hated it, so it's going in the bathroom in the basement. And then of course,
Ooh, a linen closet.
yeah, a real linen closet and a place to get at the plumbing.
Yeah.
So I think it's got a lot of closets and a lot of storage space. Then you got the attic besides.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't put that other closet in there. I think that's my closet, and that's no. Whose closet is that?
You can't have too many.
Not much of a view from here, but there you go. This is the Gone with the Wind staircase. So we're going to leave because we've stayed too long. But we're going to come back when the flowers are in bloom. And I've got most of this stuff, hopefully all of this stuff, wrapped up. Okuch Books and Libations and Native Wisconsin Incorporated. Look at
And
this.
Here's to an early spring.
How's that to finish that episode? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll bring you something else from around the community really soon.